What's up, everybody? It's Rob from the Rant, and I'm bringing you another 5-minute review. And this time, my 5-minute reviews, we're going to be talking about Senran Kagura, Estival vs. Endless Summer Edition. The Endless Summer Edition is the limited edition, which of course comes with the game, the soundtrack, an art book, and a collection of trading cards for one of the factions of characters in the game. Alright, so first and foremost, because we got a lot to cover on here, the game is an anime fan title, okay? So that means there's going to be busty girls duking it out with occasional bits of, well, I guess you could say nudity, but you never actually see anything because they do the standard censor thing of really bright lighting covering everything, so you can't make out any detail whatsoever. So, if you can't appreciate anime-type cultural references and stuff like that, then this is definitely not the game for you. For everybody else, buckle up because this game is a lot of fun and there's a ton of features. I'm going to try and cover them all, but we only got 5 minutes. So, first and foremost, tons of characters in the game. There's literally, I think, about 20 of them, which is a lot considering the game has an experience system built into it. Every character can level up. Now, it's not the worst thing in the world as far as the experience system goes. It's pretty basic, actually. In fact, you can go from like level 1 to like 30 in, roughly a couple hours if you really want to grind on a character. Because essentially you can play any mission over and over and over again with any character you want. Well, once you've beaten it. The first time you play through a main story mission, you have to use the character they assign to the story. After that, on replays, you can pick whoever you want. So, whichever character you decide is the one you like the best is the one you can roll with in there. And they are all different. They are all different in costumes, in personality, in the way you have to use them when you're fighting. There's several characters that are very ninja-esque and extremely fast and have really short-range weapons. There's a couple that, in my opinion, a little bit more samurai-like. They have large-range weapons, but they're a little slower on the attack. For instance, I don't remember the name of the character, but there's one that has a giant, basically buster sword, and, she only does like 3 swings with it, but whenever she hits something, it just goes flying off like a baseball player hitting a baseball. So, good stuff, right? Alright, the game has a story mode, which is essentially divided up into little missions. However, when you're actually playing the story mode, you don't really know when you've completed a mission other than the fact that it will ask you if you want to save. That, and there will be a little, here's how you did on this portion kind of screen that flashes up real quick. Just shows you how much experience you've gained, whether or not your character is leveled up, things like that. As the characters level up, though, they do get stronger. They do have an increase in base health, an increase in defense and attack. And of course, you do learn more special moves the higher the level of the character. Plus, the way the game works is to use a special move, you have to use up like a little, you have this little counter that fills up with scrolls, and you have to use 1 to 3 to 5 scrolls to activate the special moves. So you use one of those up every time, and basically the gauge will refill and you'll earn a scroll based on how well you're keeping a combo going, and occasionally it just drops as an item pickup when you defeat an enemy. So tons of stuff to go on by that. Tons of different gameplay variations when it comes to the combo system, because even though it's pretty basic, there's a lot of flexibility to it. There's a whole bunch of extra moves. For instance, you can do aerial raves and stuff like that. For anybody who's not familiar, aerial raves is just where your character chases after an opponent they've knocked into the air and beats the hell out of them in the air, and they're defenseless. So, aside from story mode, there's also a couple other special mission modes that you can run through. Those are usually a bit more particular, and you usually have to do one specific character for the mission because it was designed that way. There's also an online mode where you can do all kinds of different battle stuff, everything from Battle Royale to King of the Hill, that type of stuff. The game is also going to have a whole bunch of DLC available to it eventually, and in fact, within the first week of it being out, they already have the first wave of DLC available. So, a lot to cover in there. It's a terrific game, to be honest. I think the graphics are pretty excellent, actually. They did a cell shading technique that looks really good, in my opinion. There's very few jagged edges. It's pretty smoothed over. The gameplay is easy to pick up. It's pretty fluid. It's pretty fun. Tons of different characters and gameplay styles to mess with. Tons of different combat options. A bunch of DLC. This game is just overly jam-packed with stuff, to be honest. It's bordering on too much to do, in my opinion. That being said, overall, I'm going to give it a solid 4.5 out of 5. I think it's a game that if you're an anime fan at all, you will probably love it, and you will find a character in there that is just totally badass in your eyes and you can get behind. So, Senran Kagura Estival versus Endless Summer Edition. Give it a look-see. I'm giving it a high recommendation. I'm Rob from The Rant. This has been a 5-minute review. We've got tons of great stuff on our channel, The Rant, so go check it out. And thanks for listening. Bye-bye.